Good morning. Welcome to NewsWare's Trade Talk for Monday, July 27. Let's get into the action. Take a look at the S&Ps, which are trading higher. We're up 0.81% this morning. We were up 1%, a little over 1%, but we've since pulled back a little bit. Markets are dealing with weakening oil prices this morning, and they're responding, kind of positively to the de-escalation signs in the Middle East. There's a Pakistani-led diplomatic effort to really kind of, soothe the conflict. This is a Chinese-backed plan. And remember, China is the largest buyer of Iranian oil, so it makes sense that Iran may have to actually consider this new proposal that Pakistan is talking up. On the economic front this morning, we got the durable goods orders. That's on tap today. But for the week, we got a lot of central bank meetings. We're going to have central bank decisions from the Bank of Japan. We're going to have central bank decisions from the Bank of England, and of course the FOMC. In corporate news, NVIDIA's got a lot of stories going on around it. The chip makers in discussions to provide roughly $250 billion in financing guarantees for an OpenAI planned 10-gigawatt AI data center project in Ohio. Separately, they announced plans to invest $1 billion in Navar Corp to help finance an AI data center that's under construction in South Korea. And they also unveiled, a broader $500 billion partnership plan with SK Group. That's SK Hynix. So, as they're expanding the AI infrastructure, so there's a lot going on with NVIDIA this morning. But elsewhere, Argentex agreed to acquire Forte Bioscientists in a deal valued at $2.2 billion. Spirits maker Sazerac has reportedly offered $32 a share to Jack Daniel's maker Brown-Forman. On the earnings front, AstraZeneca, Bank of Hawaii, ENSG, they're all trading higher after earnings reports. WHR which is Whirlpool, they postponed their earnings report. Apparently the CEO was involved in a minor biking accident, so they pushed it off to, I think August 2nd, I think is what I read. After the close today, we'll get earnings coming out from Welltower, WELL, CDNS, CLS, FFIV, AMKR, SANM, and Rambus, RMBS. And then, tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning, you got Coca-Cola, you got Boeing, you got Corning, you got UPS, Sherwin-Williams, Illinois Tool Works, and Hilton. They're all scheduled to report Tuesday morning. So it's a big morning tomorrow. And then we got to take a look at the European markets. And the European markets are showing green. I mean, you look at the DAX. The DAX is up 436 points. That's 1.74%, with gains in, airlines and autos, which are sensitive to oil prices. You got the FTSE up 68 points, or 0.64%, with gains in financial and tech stocks. With gains in financial and pharma stocks. Oil stocks are weakening a bit, though, but that's to be expected. The CAC in Paris is up 78 points, or 0.94%. Luxury goods are the story. They're outperforming while energy shares are lagging. Then we'll move over to Asia. Asia last night was in the green. The Nikkei jumped 320 points, which is 0.5%, with gains in airlines and autos. Hong Kong rose 0.98%. Financials and tech stocks moved higher. And in China, the Shanghai Composite was up 1.15% as traders bid up a new memory chip IPO. And, the market actually was reacting positively towards the news of de-escalation of hostilities in the Middle East. And then we got oil, and oil is really the story today. Is we got WTI trading lower by 6.26% to $83.72. We got Brent at $89.99, down 7.02%. The fact is it's there were no weekend airstrikes, and there's talk of a renewed effort on Pakistan peace talks. So this is important, and Iran has continually rejected the various peace proposals, and they say that they're not talking to the U.S. right now. But the only proposal they agreed to was the June one. Now the June one basically had little concrete guidelines, which was doomed for failure. But this one is kind of like a Chinese-backed plan, because Pakistan was in meeting with Chinese officials to discuss it, and it did gain approval from China, and China is Iran's biggest buyer of the sanctioned Iranian oil. So Iran's got to pay attention to this, because if they lose their buyers for oil, they got nothing. They got nothing. So, this is likely going to have some meat to it. Okay, now we're moving over to earnings, and we're going to start off with Bank of Hawaii, ticker BOH. Boy, Oscar Henry. The stock's up 3%. They beat by a penny, which was positive. And then you got AstraZeneca, ticker AZN. That stock's up 1% this morning. They beat by 13 cents, but it was done on lower revenue. Tomorrow morning, you got UPS. EPS is $1.65. Expected move is 7.07%. Illinois Tool Works, ITW. EPS is $2.80. Expected move is 6.41%. You also got Coca-Cola, Boeing, Corning, Barclays, and more all scheduled, and Hilton Hotels all scheduled to report Tuesday morning. In terms of economic reports today, you got durable goods orders. I expected a rebound of 1.6% for June. Remember that the May data was really weak. But we also got retail inventories, the advanced number at 8:30, and also at 10:30 get the Dallas Fed manufacturing data. But this week ahead is busy. GDP data, PCE data, and the Fed announcements are some of the highlights. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the stocks that are moving the market this morning. Apple, you look at the stock, it is trading higher. They're delaying their smart glasses to work on privacy features. Google, their Waymo division, is facing parking fines in Austin. Tesla wins a bid to revive UK lawsuit against InterDigital over 5G patent license. In terms of Dow Jones 30 stocks, we're talking Disney on watch as Comcast reports weak theme park audience. Coca-Cola. Remember, Coca-Cola owns Fairlife, and Fairlife has resumed the majority of its production at the 4 U.S. facilities, which is positive. NVIDIA, listen, the news on the OpenAI $250 billion backstop as part of a host of NVIDIA's releases today, just positive. You look at NVIDIA, it's trading higher this morning. I'm talking merger news. Diana Shipping that says the acquisition offer for Genco of $27.34 a share remains on the table. While it was supposed to be pulled last week, they're still willing to move forward with it. AstraZeneca reaffirmed guidance for full year 2026 revenue. In terms of catalyst calls, ticker ES, Eversource Energy. Citibank opens up a 90-day upside catalyst watch on the stock. Okay, now we're going to move to today's pick of the day. I'm doing an earnings play again, and I'm going to go with UPS today. Earnings reports are due tomorrow morning. EPS is $1.65. Expected move is 7.07%. Friday's call volume, 8,303 calls to 4,443 puts. That's a 0.54 put-to-call ratio. That's in the sweet spot. Open interest, 209K to 155K. Like it. Major brokers are raising price targets. That's good to see. But for me to get into the stock, I really want to get in around 115. Under 115 would be positive, but 115, 15, would be a good entry point. But I'm going to say 115 for the entry area for today. But that's my pick of the day: UPS, United Parcel Service, an earnings play. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the stories that are hitting the tape this morning. See if we see anything hot in the last 15 minutes or so. Saudi Arabia intercepts drones coming from Iraqi territory. Borg Warner BWA awarded new transfer case business in China. CAPR, Capricor Therapeutics, falls 26% following FDA briefing documents post. Let's see what else we got here. Walmart's talking about back-to-school spending is expected to exceed the record, exceed records this season. They've already started it. The fact of the matter is back-to-school spending is an indicator of Christmas sales. So, if you see record back-to-school spending, you expect to see record Christmas sales. So Walmart is rather weak, but at this level, at under 110, I could see more gains to come for Walmart WMT. FBRX going to be acquired by ARGX, $77 per share. FDA said 98 illnesses have been reported in a salmonella outbreak linked to eggs. Kroger had to pull eggs from the shelves. LEGN, Legend Biotech CEO, stepped down. Board's looking for a successor. That's all I'm seeing this morning. Okay, now we're going to move on into Friday's pick of the day, which was Anacor Technologies. I mean, this one, I'm going to call it a flat trade because the stock opened up at 71.10, and I knew that was way too high. But then it fell down to 63.05, and it closed at 64.96, and it's trading like 68 this morning, which was my entry price. So, yeah, I'll call it flat. But, man, I was in and out of this thing, 4 times on Friday, making money each time. So the volatility was definitely beneficial, but I'll just call it a flat trade based on the price action. But AMKR, I was happy with the volatility on Friday, that's for sure. All right, traders, that concludes today's podcast. You guys know what to do. Let's go out there and let's make some green.